Oh man, I knew Mr. Mime GX was bad, but it can't be overstated just how bad this thing is. The ability on Mr. Mime, both of them, Magic Evens and Magic Odds, they seem really good at first. With Magic Evens, and it's the opposite for Magic Odds, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by your opponent's attack if that damage is exactly 20 to 260, the even side, and then the other one, I think it's 10 to 250. It seems like it should be good. Getting over 260 damage isn't impossible. However, with Vitality Band being in the format right now, it's so easy to get around Mr. Mime GX's ability, not even to mention, Power Plant and stuff like that. So you have to play something like Lysander Labs in order to stop that from happening. I also play Tool Scrapper, and I play Chaotic Swell just for the late game if I manage to get rid of all their Vitality Bands. But if you play Lysander Labs, then Island Challenge Amulet becomes useless. And I don't really know why I came up with this list. I really wanted to make Mr. Mime work just for the memes, but this deck is horrible. The GX attack is fine with Life Trick. You just heal all damage from this Pokemon. If it had more than 150 hit points, maybe that'd be useful, but it's not. But the only attack that it has is Breakdown. For each card in your opponent's hand, put one damage counter on their active Pokemon. That's it. That is horrible. This deck is horrible. I stopped trying to play test it and make it better just because it is so horrible. There's no making it good. So you're going to see me lose pretty easily with this deck. Elsewhere in this video, I will be taking a look at the Ariados deck. Just like with Ultra Prism and Forbidden Light, I spent a lot of time testing decks from Celestial Storm that just never worked out, and Ariados was one of them. With Reactive Poison, you do 20 base damage, plus 50 more for each special condition affecting your opponent's active Pokemon. Since I don't want to use Koga's Trap is your supporter for turn, and that's bad, you have to rely on something like Mareep. It just puts your opponent's active Pokemon to sleep. That's great. And then Garbodor with Poisonous Puddle. If there's a stadium in play, you can leave your opponent's active poisoned. So you're doing 120 damage each turn. And it's okay. 120 isn't amazing, especially with so many Pokemon having a grass resistance now, like this one right here. But with Switch and Scoop Up Net and Estate Board and so many other things, special condition decks are in a really tough spot. I do play one copy of Absol and I play the Breloom to deal with Pikarom. But even with all these cards in here, I don't think the deck is very good. I've tried it. It isn't. Unfortunately, I really liked Ariados. A lot of people were hyping it up before it came out with Celestial Storm all that time ago. It just hasn't lived up to any of the hype. And finally, as we head towards rotation, even more GX Pokemon will be hurled into Expanded, never to be seen again. So I decided to look at GX decks centered around each type. You've already seen the Fire one, and a Water one is next, but what about Grass? Well, Grass kind of sucks. Mainly the Sceptile GX and the Shiftry GX, they suck. Real bad. I even tried to add Venomoth and Vileplume in the deck. They're not great either. And I had to include the Rowlet and Alolan Executor because of Supergrowth. I would have liked to not include it because I want to show non-tag teams. I want to show tag teams when the tag teams are rotating. And of course I have Rillaboom, so I need Supergrowth, Rare Candy. I have a copy of it. It's not reliable. You want to use Supergrowth as soon as possible. But there's just no reason to build a Grass Box deck when this guy is just good enough on its own. You don't need all the excess stuff. Mewtwo and Mew should not be copying Grass Pokemon. You should have maybe one copy of Mewtwo and Mew in your deck, but Psychic Weakness isn't really an important thing anymore. So don't build this. I don't care if you want to make a Mewtwo and Mew Grass Box deck. Don't do it. Just make a Rowlet and Alolan Executor deck. And I'm probably going to show you why you should never play this. I was going to save Mr. Mime for last, but I decided let's just get this over with. This is going to be just horrible. The only strategy with Mr. Mime is to just stall and hope your opponent concedes. That's about it. I do wonder what they'd be thinking. They see this hand, what are they thinking? They probably think this is an Obstagoon deck. And I really just threw the Obstagoon in there for more trolling things. I don't know. You need something else other than Mr. Mime, so I figured why not. And so this is the evens one. So I really hope they... Okay, this is a Spiritomb deck. That is horrible. You're going to see why Mr. Mime is back, because this is a Spiritomb deck. And Spiritomb is literally the worst because it can just manipulate its damage. I don't even know what to do, because every turn they change their damage from odd to even. So what do I do? Wait, no. Yeah, they do. So what do I even do in this position? I think I just have to rely on the Galarian Zigzagoon. I think that's the only thing. I think I have to save the Zigzagoon, don't show them to my opponent, and just hope they start building up way too much damage. Oh, this is going to be a quick loss. Okay, sure, let's put Lysander Labs. I don't know why I still kept the Island Challenge Amulet in there. That makes no sense. Sure, yep, I don't want to heal that 10 damage. And one of the funny things about Mr. Mime GX is the Magic Evens is from Celestial Storm, but the Magic Odds is from Team Up. So one Mr. Mime is rotating, the other Mr. Mime is staying in format, and that just makes no sense. And that is... Yep, that's a Hustle Belt. So you'll still be... If you want to make a Magic Odds deck in Standard after August, go for it. It is entirely possible. I don't know why you'd want to do it. You know, I think the only reason you'd want to use the Magic Odds Mr. Mime post-rotation is if you know what your opponent's playing before they know themselves. Okay. So I'm just going to stay the course here. Hopefully I get some more Mr. Mime. No. I'm playing a Mr. Mime deck and there's no Mr. Mime. Okay. Because... You know, the ability isn't horrible. People aren't going to be playing Power Plant as much just because we're moving towards Vs and VMAXs, so you don't have to worry about Power Plant. You can just have a Magic Odds in your deck and maybe just try and troll your opponent. Like Zacian V does 230, that's odd. So if they have no way to manipulate that damage, then you're fine. But if they use Altered Creation or something, then it goes to evens, and there's no Magic Evens in Standard starting in September, so... What are you even supposed to do? And is this just a quick knockout? Oh, no, they have a Jirachi. Why wouldn't they... Unless they just have it? I'm confused. If they don't have it, why wouldn't they just go, okay, so I can just knock this thing out? That's interesting. So do I put the Chaotic Swell down? No. I think I'm Arnie. Just hope I get an energy. That's it. All I needed was an energy. You couldn't give that to me? Okay, so I can scrap the tool. Sure, I'm just gonna do this. We're gonna see what happens. I'm just gonna burn the hand down, see what happens. Actually, because they probably only play like Rainbow Energy, so if I put too much damage on this, well, they have a Jinx, but okay, hang on. Anguish Cry. If I remove, that's way too much math. I'm not putting that much effort into a Mr. Mime deck. So if you want to knock out this Mr. Mime, go for it. You know, all I needed was an energy, and this entire game would have swung in my favor. But I only play 8 energy. You know, you wouldn't think it'd be that difficult to find an energy in a deck that shouldn't really ever be attacking. But I put 8 energy in this thing because I wanted to attack. And I don't even get it. Okay, so they're playing a Spiritomb Obstagoon deck. If they can't find Jinx and they only have Rainbow Energy, then okay, that's fine. So what do they got? If they only have Rainbow Energy, they can't really do anything. I have Rainbow Energy. And they had an Aurora, of course they did. Well, let's see if I did this correctly. You just go for it, Mad Dog. Don't even think. Just go for it. This is a horrible game any way you slice it. And oh, there's all the Spiritomb. Okay. And their hand is 1 card, so hey, I did the math right. Yay. Okay, so I have to knock this thing out. I think sure, I'll knock it out first. See if I get a supporter or something. That's a reset stamp. Oh, this is hilarious. Oh, please send up something that I can just... Please send up a Spiritomb. This is why I play reset stamp, is to put more cards back into your hand. Please make it happen. Oh, don't stall me out here. I want this to be a quick, terrible game. Come on. No stalling, Mad Dog. Come on. Just throw up a Spiritomb. There you go. You fell right into my trap. I've activated my trap card. A reset stamp and a rainbow energy in a Mr. Mime deck. You never know what hit ya. And all I did was give you 6 cards. That's a big brain play right there. Just giving my opponent more cards when I'm playing a horrible deck and my opponent is playing a really good deck. But the good thing is if they... Oh, never mind. Okay, no, they still need to bump the Lysander Labs. So what they need to do is, they're not doing enough damage right now. So what they have to do is bump the Lysander Labs and put a damage counter on it. So that they need a 2-card combo. Otherwise, if they get to 30 damage, that's an odd. That's an evens. It's an even. Yeah, that's an even number. So okay, but they're out of Spiritomb, so maybe. Why wouldn't you just use your Mew? Just keep your hand size low and use your Mew. I can't do anything. Oh, no. There it is. Oh, jeez. Okay. What do I do now? I'm out of Lysander Labs. They got a Jirachi. They got a skateboard, so they're just hoping for like Quick Ball or something right now. But the Shrine... I don't even want to do the math anymore, but this could be hilarious. If I just draw semi-decently, this could be a win. But I'm out of my Lysander Labs, which are extremely important in this matchup. Like that, if I could have one card, it'd be Lysander Labs. Okay, so that's a research. Believe it or not, I can knock out the Spiritomb if it comes down to it. And, oh, what am I thinking? I just need to get an Obstagoon up and running and I win. What am I doing? What am I doing messing around with this Mr. Mime? See, the Mr. Mime is buying me Mr. Time. And, oh, that's actually perfectly fine. Because they have a research in their hand. I have a Swell. Black Market is fine. And they'd run out of resources before I run out of resources. So this might actually be a win. As insane as that is, I could actually win this if the Pokegear gets me what I need. And that would just be mind-boggling. I play Mars for the trolls, but I really hope it's not a Mars that I get. I am down quite a few supporters, considering I still have 39 cards left in my deck. But it would be nice if Mad Dog played just a little bit faster. I know they're probably doing the math, but you just gotta play it fast and loose sometimes. Sometimes you just gotta go for it. What they could have done is, I mean, they had it. They jinxed the damage counter onto... Oh, no, they didn't. I was thinking they'd do some shenanigans with the jinx, but no, that wouldn't work. So there's the Shrine. Okay, there's a counter gain. That's perfect. So I'll do that. I will do that. And... Come on, Pokegear. Oh, jeez. Come on, PTC Joe. I'm playing a freaking Mr. Mime deck. You can't throw me a bone here. Come on. I'm playing a Mr. Mime deck. All I need is a Pokegear to work. This is why I hate Pokegear. Look at the top 7. No, give me Random Receiver. Random Receiver, just the next supporter card in your deck, you just get it. Random Receiver is so much better. I wish Random Receiver was reprinted. And there was Black Market. That's good. They'll probably research. And, I mean, come on. How do I whiff this bad? How do I only have one Mr. Mime on, like, turn 7? And yes, I'm just going to keep talking until things go my way. And then I'll be like, oh, I predicted it. Okay, there's another Spiritomb. So that's all their Spiritomb. They're going to knock out the Mr. Mime. And I just have to hope that I'm in top deck city here. Because they're just going to run right through me. So top deck's gotta be what I need. And they're putting some Spiritomb back. That is horrible. But I think maybe PTCGO knew I was playing Mr. Mime and they just never wanted to help me out. Like, you have a perfect matchup against the basic deck. You have Obstagoon in your deck. Mr. Mime does damage counters. The Zigzagoon does damage counters. This is literally the perfect matchup. And screw you. Okay, so I just need to... Doesn't really matter who I send up. And there's that thing, so that's the magic odds. So, I mean, I can retreat into it and save the Zigzagoon, or I can just pass. I don't think it really matters. And there's Giratina that, well, I mean, oh no, my energy, you're knocking this thing out. Who cares? Just so we're all clear, I'm playing a Mr. Mime deck. My opponent is playing a tournament level deck. And I was like one card away from winning. Just if you're keeping track at home, I was like a Pokegear. I was a Pokegear away from winning. And this is a Mr. Mime deck versus a tournament level deck. And my opponent is taking 6 minutes longer than I am. That's pretty crazy. And they didn't do the math properly. And that is not good. So they're just going to put a damage counter on that. So I think I just switch into this, and I don't know. I'm just stalling. You know, if my channel is known for one thing, it is super exciting gameplay, and this is just super exciting gameplay. You know, hopefully you have a vivid imagination. Just imagine that what are they doing? They haven't Jirachi'd in like 3 turns, and they're just getting everything. This is insane. And what's funny is if I still get a supporter and I get an Obstagoon, I can Obstagoon this, knock it out. I can Zigzagoon this, knock it out. But that would require this deck to cooperate. You know, I play 10 draw supporters in this deck. I play Pokegear in this deck. I play so many things in this deck. I play Stoop Up Net. I think there's something else crazy that I play. I play so much, and this is what's happening. And okay, there's a Crushing Hammer. Let's see if that... Oh, hey, something worked out. Okay. What is their energy count anyway? Because I got 4 or... Oh, okay. They probably have like 6 energy left. Yep, there it is. Would have been nice if that was a rainbow, but of course not. So I can still win this. I just need to top deck a supporter and then evolve into Obstagoon. That's it. Top deck a supporter, evolve into Obstagoon. I hope I'm playing Rare Candy. I might not be playing Rare Candy. And this is how it ends. Hey, it didn't give me the warning. Usually it says, are you sure you want to play this card? You'll lose the game. But I mean, come on. I had the deck beat. I was playing Mr. freaking Mime, and I had a Spiritomb deck beat. And all this happened. I mean, come on. I play 41 trainer cards. I do play a Rare Candy. I even play the Rotom Bike. That's the crazy thing I was talking about. I play Rotom Bike. I play 2 Pokegear. I play 10 draw supporters. Oh man. Well, message received loud and clear, PTCGO. I'm never going to play Mr. Mime again. Thank you for destroying my hope in this deck that had a chance against one deck. The matchup was perfect. And it didn't go well. Alright, let's try the next bad deck. Okay, it's water. That probably means Inteleon VMAX, but if it's a pre-Sword and Shield water deck, then it's weak to Ariados. And I still think I want to go first, but that's not going to happen. Please don't be Inteleon VMAX. I don't play a Mew. I really don't want to concede. And Stun Poison's actually really good. And of course, no supporter. I play, because I don't play Jirachi, I threw extra supporters in there to help with consistency, and it's a water Pokemon that's weak to metal. Are you kidding me? Okay. So, Well, they're off to a bad start, so that's good. Okay, I think I just grab a Spinnerack. That's fine. And this is just a very slow start, but there you go. And hey, they're paralyzed and poisoned, not bad. So if you're wondering why I play this Spinnerack, well, not only is this Spinnerack from Celestial Storm, so it's the one that's leaving, but the other Spinnerack, I guess it's from Lost Thunder, right? But the other Spinnerack, and they grabbed a Frostmoth, the other Spinnerack has Spider Scram that paralyzes your opponent, but puts the Spinnerack and everything attached to it in the Lost Zone. I don't want to lose Spinnerack. Oh man. Well, I'm counting that as a win. But I'll re-roll an Ariados game just because I want to see it actually compete. And if you're seeing that in the background, yep, Kingdra's coming up. But I think it'll be... Oh, this is bad. Okay, well, you're going to see my Ariados isn't really good in about 2 seconds. And yeah, Kingdra's coming up, but I might just do a Water Box deck to see what happens. And how could my starting hand be any worse? Okay. I mean, look at that. I have 4 evolutions in the... 5 in my starting hand? Well, let's make it 6. Jeez. I have... If this was reversed, if I got all my basics, this would be so much better. Just gonna hit done. Maybe they'll iron roll me or something. Oh no, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Each of your Pokemon that has any metal energy attached to it can't be affected by special conditions. What? Okay, come on, Ariados. I'm not letting you go out like that. I'm gonna give it one more shot. Okay, so just to recap, the Mr. Mime, literally the best matchup Mr. Mime could ever hope for, and I lost. Ariados. I faced a water deck that had a metal weakness, but I still won somehow. And then game 2, I faced a deck that can't be affected by special conditions. What? No. Okay, this is the last Ariados game, even if it's horrible. Dark Pokemon are weak to grass now, though, so hopefully this isn't old format Dark Box, and it's just like Malamar or something. Okay, that doesn't really tip me off. Okay, so this would have been a great starting hand if this was a Spinnerack, but apparently I'm only going to draw into my evolutions. Alright, what am I starting? I'm starting a Ditto and a Lucky Egg. Okay, come on. Don't do this to me. Just bench a million Pokemon. And it is old format Dark Box. Okay. But if they don't bench anyone else, I can survive a turn. That's good. And there's a Net Ball. That's also good. So I think... Do I just go get Zacian V? Because I think I just don't get Zacian V, to be honest. I think I get Zacian V and I don't do anything, or... Yeah, I need Zacian V. Because things are going to happen, they're going to happen real quick. And I need to be prepared. So as much as I would like to do something with this Ditto, I don't think that's going to happen. I can draw 1 card, though. I mean, they can't do anything next turn, right? But... You know what? That's me. That's becoming an Ariados. I don't care. That's becoming an Ariados. Because the cool thing, the main attack is reactive poison, but the secondary attack, you just get to choose one of your opponent's bench Pokemon and it becomes their active, and that's a sleep and poison. So that does... Well, hang on. Chill, Grim. So, okay. Black Market, let's just get rid of that right away. You may switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with their active, and they're asleep and poison, so that's the same as if I used Mareep and Garbodor, so that's cool. And you removed all my supporters. You gave me like the exact same hand, minus the supporters, and that's just not cool. You just calm it down for a second. Okay, so the air balloons are fine, because they're not escape boards. Air balloon is only good... to just... Okay, to chill with these crushing hammers, jeez. Well, I can tell you what I'm going to do this turn. So I'm going to put the air balloon on the Zacian V and probably just not evolve into Ariados. No, if I evolve into Ariados, then I get to draw an extra card and I have the ordinary rod. I'm going to Intrepid Sword. Just things went downhill real fast here. The fun thing is they have no idea what I'm playing. But if I can just top deck an energy or top deck a supporter, that would be so amazing. If they Dark Moon right now, that would be fine. I just can't play a trainer. Okay. So, well, Lucky Egg is going to be completely useless because I'm going to have a hand of 7 cards. So, yeah, there you go. Thanks. And Breloom. Oh yeah, I forgot about Breloom. That's going to be somewhat important. But please, just don't have an energy. Oh, man. I mean, I haven't edited anything out. You've seen these 3 games. You know, my first opponent conceded just because they didn't have good draws. But game 2, I started all my evolutions. Why am I just drawing into evolutions right now? This makes no sense. Evolutions are supposed to be hard to find. You know, my Weavile ability deck that I played a little while ago, I had 3 Weavile in the deck, and I didn't see one until I had 10 cards left. And there you go, there's a Black Lance. Okay, so I'm not drawing any cards. And I honestly don't know if Rosa's worth it. Unfortunately, not in this position. I think Cynthia's the smarter option. And Dangerous... Why are you using Dangerous Drill? But I have 7 cards and I have 8 cards in my hand. There was literally no reason to do that. Other than just to be like, hey, I got a Dangerous Drill in my deck. What are you going to do? Okay, well, you got rid of your Darkrai. That's interesting. You don't really have a way to accelerate energy at this point. So it might be a Mareep and pass situation. Oh, more evolutions. Wonderful. So there you go. Give me Mareep. There's a Mareep. Okay, so I got that. I think I go get another Spinnerack. It'd be great to have somebody else. I don't think I risk losing a Spinnerack in this position. I just put the Umbreon and Darkrai to sleep and then Intrepid Sword and hope for the best. Because they did ditch their bosses. Well, they ditched A bosses. Okay, that's some good flips. Things are looking slightly up here. I didn't think this would take so long to film, but here we are. You know, I thought I was just going to play one match with this deck and then I'm done. But here we are. The video is going to be like 50 minutes long. I really hope the Mewtwo portion of the video was really short. Are they just trying to stall me out so I concede? What's going on? Are they reading Mareep? Are they reading Slumbering Forest? Are they reading Spinnerack? What's going on? Come on, Grim. Are you there, Grim? Oh, maybe they're not there. I'll take that. So I just need to get rid... oh, man. I'm counting that as a win. Okay, I'm not playing this deck again. But I guess you can see Ariados. If you can put them to sleep and they just can't wake up and they can't switch, then... I mean, it's okay, but 90% of the time this deck doesn't work. You know, I'm not putting deck lists in the description, but maybe test this out. It can be a little annoying. You know, if your opponent flips poorly on sleep, you have a chance. But if they have their switches and stoop up nets and escape boards and just everything, it's not going to go well. And let's finish the video with Mewtwo and Mew. There's nothing too special about the strategy with the Mewtwo deck. It's a grass box deck. You want to go second. You want to use Super Growth right off the bat. And that's about it. There's not a whole lot of strategy about turn 1. Just get your Rowlet and Long Executor in the active, get your Mewtwo in the active, get one of those, have a Grookey on the bench, and get a Rillaboom. That's it. Okay, and this is pretty much a perfect starting hand. Except for the Thwacky. That is... I don't want to see that. I do play an Ordinary Rod, though, so that's okay. And the Venomoth, I do play one copy of Janine, because prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from basic Pokemon during your opponent's next turn. So Janine is really good. 10 card return would be good if Marnie didn't exist. But I guess if you... Whoop, where is it? There it is. If you want to like knock out an Inkay, you can just GX for 1 energy, knock out an Inkay, and have a 10 card hand. Oh. Okay, so they're not taking one-shots on the Mewtwo and Mew. And I'm taking one-shots on them unless they have like Big Charm. But, you know, it's been a while since I played the Excadrill deck, so I don't quite remember. And they have Dedennis on the field, so this should end well for me unless I prize my Thwackies. Okay. So how do I go about doing this? Well, Venomoth, you're getting out here first, that's for sure. There's a Grookey. Please tell me I have Thwackies. I do have Thwackies. So I'm going to probably bench the Rowlet and a Alolan Exeggutor. Do I put the Weakness Guard down? Because Tropical Hour... Oh no, it's just 3 extra. I thought it was 3 extra grass. So yeah, definitely put the Weakness Guard down since I can't recover that. Put the Rowlet down, and I could wait until next turn to Dedenne, but I have a supporter, or don't have a supporter for this turn, so I'll Dedenne right now. And, ooh, who do I want to get rid of? So, discard a special energy, move an energy, shift tree, extra sensory. If you have the same number of cards in your hand as your opponent, this does 180. This isn't great, but I think I just grabbed the, well, I mean, I could just grab Shuckle and win, but that'd be pretty boring. So I'll just get Grookey. And I think actually I won't use Cynthia because I could just draw into my Thwackies and that would be horrible because then I wouldn't be able to use Super Growth. So I'm just going to hold off and use Cynthia next turn. Okay, so I'm basically set up. This is great. I'm basically set up. I can... No, don't do that. Don't be that person. Oh, man. Okay, well, they're that person. And actually, I think this deck plays Buff Padding. It might be what it plays. And they play the Dojo. I play Turffield. Yeah. Okay, so they got rid of some things that they need. And that's perfect. So now I can do that. And I think from here, I'll probably just win. I might want to get Shuckle just to sort of show them that, hey, I got a Shuckle. Let's see what you got. You got a way to counter this? Oh, man. I wasn't actually going to use it. Well, maybe I shouldn't have shown them the Shuckle. Shouldn't have shown them the Shuckle. Well, I really don't want to play this deck again. Because it's not worth playing. Okay, let me just talk about that for a second. Shift Tree GX. Perplex, 40 damage and confusion, sure. Extra sensory, for 3 energy, you only do 180 damage. I mean, that is more than Calming Hurricane, but you have to have the same number of cards in your hand as your opponent, so that requires Marnie, and then you play a card off the Marnie. And Den of Iniquity, choose one of your opponent's Pokemon, and they shuffle that and all cards attached to it into their deck. That can be pretty good, but is that better than, where is it? Tropical Hour, where you do 200 and they shuffle all their energy. I don't know. But let's see, what else do I got? Vileplume, that's staying in format. That's just 180, and you do less damage for the amount of damage counters. Allergic Explosion is 50, and you do a whole bunch of status conditions. Sceptile GX. Oh man. Mock Cut. 60 damage, discard a special energy. Sure. I mean, they have to be having special energy in their deck, and if they don't, then what was the point? And Leaf Cyclone, it's fine. 2 energy, 130, okay. And you get to move an energy, so if your Mewtwo Mew is going down, you can just move an energy and you save an energy, but other than that, it's kind of meh. And Venomoth, oh, Venomoth. I mean, maybe you can make this work, but come on. You have to play Koga's Trap as your supporter for turn to do 200. Or you can play Janine. Janine is horrible. but you can be safe from basics the next turn. That's really the only way that Venomoth works, is if you use Janine turn after turn. Koga's Trap is more of a stall card, so I don't know if that'd be great. And 10 card return is fine, but is that you really want that to be your GX? And the Shuck Boy. Protective Shell, Mewtwo can't copy that ability, but the ability is really good. Your opponent has to have 3 energy on it to attack it. And then Triple Poison is bad. Wrap is, it's not great. It's not bad. It's somewhere in the middle. 40 and Paralysis is fine, but why would you use that when you have Vileplume? Shuckle GX, I will build a deck with this, believe it or not, after Darkness Ablaze. In that 2-week window between Darkness Ablaze and rotation, I will build a Shuckle deck with Arctozolt. Arctozolt is... Okay, let me explain the Arctozolt Shuckle deck. Arctozolt is a stage 1 fossil. That's going to be not fun to get into play. But once you do, anytime your opponent attaches energy from their hand to a Pokemon, I think you put 2 damage counters on it. And with Shuckle GX, your opponent's Pokemon have to have 3 energy on them. So if you play Team Yell Grunt and Crushing Hammer and maybe even like Lycanroc GX, then they're putting damage on themselves just to try and attack you. All the while you're using Triple Poison and Wrap GX. In theory, it seems good. I'm definitely going to try it out. I'm going to see. Arctozolt seems like a lot of fun, and Shuckle GX is a great combination for it. It's not great in this deck. And then, of course, Shaman, awesome card. It's going to stay. It's from Team Up, so it's going to stay in format. That's awesome. There's Dedenne. And the tag teams, I didn't include any of the other tag teams just because they're staying in Standard. You're going to see them a lot. I'll probably do a deck in the future with just a full tag team deck. And then there's Mewtwo and Mew. So, and obviously Rillaboom. I had Eldegoss in there just for bosses. But the list is pretty straightforward. There's the Janine. Everything else is fine. Don't build this. Just cut out these 5 cards and just build a Rowlet deck and a Alolan Exeggutor and Rillaboom. You don't need to add the excess stuff. So I will end the video there. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe if you aren't already subscribed. And I will see you tomorrow, where I'm moving on to Dragon Majesty. And yes, I will have a wishy-washy deck, but it might not be tomorrow. I'll see you then.